We've been hacked. Turns out Cozy Bear, which is the hacking group of the SVR, which is Russia's foreign intelligence service, hacked into the network of a company called FireEye. FireEye uses a software made by another company called SolarWind that provides network security software for 18,000 organizations, including a lot of government agencies, specifically Commerce Department, Department of the Treasury, Department of Homeland Security, the Pentagon, the Postal Service, and the Department of Energy. So the thing about the Department of Energy that is of concern is, did they have access to the nuclear security part of the Department of Energy? Because if they did, this is where you can cause reactor meltdowns and the other doomsday scenarios. So the Department of Energy has said no. They just hacked into our business part. They did not go after our mission essential part. So that's good. So Senator Mitt Romney likened this to an overflight of Russian bombers going undetected. So that's a good image, right? Imagine looking up in your neighborhood and seeing these bear and badger and backfire bombers flying over gigantic silver airplanes with red stars on the wingtips. And you would go, geez, should we be worried about that? So for their part, the Russians deny any involvement. They've said, how can we deny something that we're not involved in? That's what the ambassador is quoted as saying. And he further says, we should probably sit down for a dialogue. And there has been no response from the White House, which is maybe not surprising. One of the root notes, one of the refrains of this administration has been total deference towards Vladimir Putin, particularly, and all things Russia. Remember that first meeting with Don Jr. and the Russian operative that claimed to have dirt on Hillary? That was the "if it's what you say it is, I love it" meeting. Paul Manafort, the original campaign manager for Donald Trump, had a lot of Russian ties and, in fact, is in prison for his dealings with Russia. The first meetings that Trump had as president were infamously with the Russians in D.C. And remember, he ushered the press and the interpreter out of those meetings in a very secretive way. And then, of course, there was the Helsinki summit, where President Trump showed great deference, perhaps what could be characterized as embarrassing levels of deference towards Vladimir Putin. And the rumors have circulated about why is this the case? Is there compromise about tapes that were made while Trump was visiting Moscow, exploring whether or not he would build a hotel there? Is his Gulf empire over-leveraged against Russian oligarchs? Whatever. On his watch, we haven't been tough on Russia, going by him, and there's no reason to expect, even in the face of this hacking, that's ongoing, by the way. FireEye execs have said, hey, they're inside our system here, and there's no way, even if we change passwords or put up new protections, that we can stop them at this point. So they're in. So there's no stopping them. There's just deterring them. So it's not going to happen as long as Donald Trump is president. So what should President-elect, future President Biden do? Well, he should set a very tough tone from the very beginning. That's all Putin respects. So a good example of how that can work is not the White House, but other agencies told Russia straight up going into the election that if you try to influence it, if you try to influence it via cyber schemes, we're going to retaliate by shutting down your power grid. And as Mr. Krebs testified after being fired as the chief election official. As a function of that, we had history's most secure election. So it worked. Unlike 2016, 2020 was not influenced in any way by the Russians. And you could say it's because of the threat that was put to the Russians. So that's what we've got to do. This time, it looks like they're just snooping around. They didn't do anything damaging. So it's a spy mission. It's not a mission where they're blowing stuff up. Next time, they could shut down the entire nation. So imagine how irritating it already is if your Wi-Fi is slow, or you get to the end of the checkout line and the cashier says, "My computer just went down." That's irritating, right? Okay, now imagine the entire nation getting shut down. No traffic lights. Your paycheck is unavailable and your bank has no record of how much they owe you. Or there's no electricity in the middle of winter. Now, do you care? All right, that'll do it for this episode. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for your support. Please subscribe.